What is up, everyone? We are back with another episode of BAM GPG. And today, Bryson, I want to talk about a couple things today. So the first thing, want to get into Jordan Love, right? Is he proven to be that franchise quarterback, or does he still have something to show and prove in the 2025 season? So want to get into where he kind of stands going into the season, and then the second thing I want to get into, something a little bit fun, the Packers 2025 schedule. So want to go kind of break down some of the games, take a look at some of those. We'll give you some wins, some loss predictions, as well as, some possible revenge games. So with that, Bryson, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk about Jordan Love here. So 2024, a little bit of a challenging season for him. Went through some struggles for sure. Week one, hurt himself week one, was out a couple weeks after that.
Season prior, 2023.
2023, he looked great, right? Me and I think most Packer fans included went into 2023 with probably not such a great outlook with Aaron Rodgers moving on. We didn't truly know what we had in Jordan Love, right? We saw very, very limited of him. He did start one game in Kansas City when excuse me, I'm going way back with that one. But when Rodgers was out with the whole COVID thing. So that game wasn't anything overly impressive. He had a couple good throws, but nothing that really showed you that, he was going to be that guy that's going to be able to step up and take the lead as a top-tier quarterback in the league. So, something that the Packer fans and we have been used to, going from Favre to Rodgers. We've certainly been spoiled. There's no doubt about that. And then Jordan Love, he comes in 2023, lights it up. We kind of struggled almost the first half of the year in 2023, and then
for the first game.
Yes, won the first game in Chicago. That was awesome. We were at that one. So, but yeah, he about halfway through the season, him and the Packers just kind of flipped the switch there, and he looked phenomenal. Right, led us into the playoffs. We beat Dallas. He looked great in the Dallas game. And the Niner game, right? So that one, the 49ers, we got history with them, that's for sure. But that's certainly a game I thought we should have won. I felt like we were going to win that game all the way up into the fourth quarter. I thought we were going to win. And then we kind of had that head scratcher at the end of the game where Jordan Love kind of threw across his body, across the field, and threw that interception to end the game there. But so that takes us to the 2024 season. Again, had its ups and downs. He got injured right away, week one against Philadelphia there in Brazil. We didn't see him for a few weeks after that. And then when he came back, you knew there was going to be a little bit of rust, right? He hadn't played much into the season, didn't play much in the preseason. So there's always that period where you got to kind of knock off the rust a little bit, see some live action. And he didn't get that, right? So he got back in there, looked a little rough at first, and then he got hurt again. So I think he played hurt an awful lot last season.
I think he was just in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gutted it out, right? He played through some injuries.
Which I think he shouldn't have. Because of, the playoffs.
Yeah, possibly, but he's a tough player, and we're used to that. Favre was the same way, Rodgers was the same way. They played through some tough injuries.
When he was injured, credit to Malik Willis.
Oh, Malik Willis, phenomenal. I think he's the best backup quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Certainly deserves a starting spot somewhere, and I think he will once his contract's up with Green Bay. He certainly has earned that privilege to compete for a spot, one of the 32 NFL starting quarterback spots.
Specifically for the Titans or something. Well, they just got a good quarterback.
Yeah, let's keep him out of the NFC North when he does, but we'll see. But yeah, Jordan Love, he looked good at moments last year. There were some throws where like, okay, there's Jordan Love, there's the guy I know. And then there were other throws. I mean, he really struggled when he came back from that injury initially with the interceptions, right? There was, you saw it everywhere, right? Jordan Love, interceptions, Jordan Love's interceptions. But kind of as the season got deeper and deeper, he really kind of knocked that down a little bit, right? He didn't finish that poorly when it came to interceptions. I didn't think, right? He had some early on, but he really kind of settled in once he was able to start finding his rhythm. Um, the game plan was a little questionable at times last year. Some of the receivers, like Jaden Reed, kind of got lost there towards the end of the season. You didn't see much production out of them. So I'm excited to see what they can do this year. You know, last season, for me personally, I don't look a whole lot into it. Played through a lot of injuries. He was injured right off the bat. I personally still think he's that guy. I think he is we're set. I think he is our franchise guy for the next, however long, for the foreseeable future, right? Um, but anyways, I wanted to kind of dive into very quickly here, take a look at his stats from the previous season here. So let's go ahead and pull that up real quick for everyone. So last season, Jordan Love, overall grade 77.7, had a passing grade of 76.6. Rushing grade, he didn't get much out of the pocket last year. You thought you might see a little bit more of that with him. Kind of glad he didn't with some of the injuries he's battling through, but he's 54.6 there. Again, 25 touchdown passes, only 11 interceptions. Like I said, those interceptions really tapered off kind of towards the end of the season. You saw the bulk of those when he initially came back from that injury. He was still trying to find that rhythm, but that did taper off. 3,389 passing yards on the season. So we talked about 2023. So let's go ahead and pull up those stats, Bryson. I'll let you run through those a little bit.
Overall grade 83, passing grade 82.7, and I'm not even going to say his rushing grade.
Yeah, 59.7 there. Again, he's not running with the ball as much as you thought he might.
Malik Willis is a running quarterback.
He did, right? And with the injuries we saw with Love this year, I'm not so sure I want him running all that much out of the pocket. I'd rather see him sit back there and kind of be that traditional pocket passer.
I mean, we have Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs. I'm excited to see what Marshawn Lloyd can do when he gets out on the field. But in 23, he finished 32 touchdown passes, 4,158 yards through the air, and only 11 picks. So I think this is more trending in the direction of what you will see out of Jordan Love in 2025, 2026, as long as he can stay healthy. I think you're looking at that 30 to 35 touchdown passes. I would like to see him out of double-digit interceptions. Again, we've been spoiled by Rodgers, who didn't throw a whole lot of interceptions. So 11, I'm not going to argue. I'll take it, right? I'll take 11 picks.
Kind of like Brett Favre.
He does got a little Favre in him, but he's certainly got a live arm. He makes some ridiculous throws at times. But he can get a little wild like Favre did. That's for sure. So my opinion, I'm not looking a whole lot into his performances in 24. He did have a pretty solid season, battled through some injuries, but I think 23 is probably a little bit more indicative of what you're going to see out of Jordan Love in 2025.
Yeah.
I know Christian Watson's out, but we did draft a couple wide receivers in Matthew Golden and Savion Williams. And Luke Musgrave is going to be back. Tucker Kraft's only getting better. So I think you're going to see a kind of a bounce back season for him here. Not that 24 was all that bad. It was pretty good.
Just a quick mention. Clinton Valentine. I think he's going to be a number one cornerback for the Packers in the next 2 years.
I think he will be too. I'm excited about him. He's the young cornerback. Played exceptional last season, right, when he was out on the field. Again, I love the physicality by him. I think he's going to be great for Green Bay moving forward. So I like him a lot. Is he going to be Jair Alexander right off the get-go? Probably not, but he's young. He's only going to get better. So with that, Bryson, I kind of want to transition here a little bit. Let's get into the schedule here for the Packers. So let me go ahead and share that out. So right off the bat, right, division rival, big game. Detroit won the division last season. We got them at home week 1. Green Bay, historically over the past 4 or 5 seasons hasn't played well off the bat. Part of that's what LaFleur does with the starters. They don't see a whole lot of action in the preseason. So again, you got that rust period that you have to knock off early in the season. Maybe he'll approach that a little bit differently this year. We can kind of come out firing on all cylinders. So week 1, Bryson, what's your prediction?
I would say Packers win 23-20-24.
There you go. So you got Green Bay week 1, you got the dub there. So that would put the Packers at 1-0. And then we have a team that, really surprised everyone last year, the Commanders. They're coming to Lambeau Field week 2. It is going to be a primetime game, I believe, as well. So Thursday night, I believe. Yeah, Thursday night football against the Commanders. Who do you have there, Bryson?
It's going to be close, but
Packers starting off the season strong, 2-0. And then we head to Cleveland. What a dysfunctional organization they have over there.
We're winning that one.
Yep, so there you go. 3-0.
Prediction? First blowout of the season.
First blowout of the season right there, heading to Cleveland. So 3-0. We're on the road. We're hitting Dallas. What do you got?
Week 4, Green Bay, because Dallas doesn't.
Green Bay, yeah. So Dallas, they'll be an interesting one this year. It's going to be hard to scheme against them this year just because they do have a new coaching staff in there this year. So you won't know what to expect. Thankfully, we have them week 4, so we'll have a few weeks of tape on them by the time we get to play them. But the Dallas Cowboys week 4, we got the win there. Starting off the season 4-0, and we have an early bye this year, week 5. So we're going into the bye.
I do not like that.
I'm not a big fan of early buys either.
I want to week 11 at least, at
Yes.
the earliest.
And then we come off the bye against Cincinnati. Again,
I'm going to pass this one to you.
this one's tough for me, right? We're coming off a bye. If we weren't coming off a bye, I don't know if I would feel as great about this one. But since we are coming off a bye, I'm going to take Green Bay in this one. I think it's going to be back and forth. I got Green Bay in this one. I'm going to give it to them by 3.
All right, what score?
We'll go 33-30 in this one. Green Bay is going to start the season 5-0. And that brings us to Arizona. This one, to me, you talk about trap games. To me, Arizona's the trap game, right? Because they're sneaky good. We played well against them last year. This one is on the road in Arizona, Bryson. Who do you have?
I got the Packers.
Packers. So we got that one, the dub there in Arizona. And then this one. So talked about a trap game. Now we're talking about, I don't want to call it a revenge game, but it's going to be a revenge game. They're going to highlight it as a revenge game. Aaron Rodgers going out against the Green Bay Packers there in Pittsburgh. I'm hoping he's healthy there. We certainly want to attend that one if he is. Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. It is a primetime game, of course, Sunday Night Football, Bryson. Who are you taking in that one?
I have to take the Packers.
The Packers. 7-0. 7-0.
Yeah, because
And then we're going to Carolina. Or no, we're going back home against the Carolina Panthers. This one is the Sunday afternoon game. Again, this one to me, I would label it kind of as a trap game. Carolina's better than what they looked on paper last year. They played well, both offensively and defensively. They're starting to get it together out there. So this one you can't overlook, right? I can't stress that enough. Carolina is not going to be an easy win this year. Who are you taking with that one, Bryson?
Still Carolina. I mean, me, us.
All right, 8-0 to start the season, starting off strong. And then revenge game, right? So we lost to Philadelphia twice last season. They're coming to Lambeau. We're playing them November 10th.
We're winning.
We're kicking butt that game, right?
I'm just gonna skip over the Giants.
9-0 Giants. Yeah, we'll handle business there. So we're starting the season 10-0.
So this one's at home. We're winning that one.
This one at home against Minnesota. So we're taking the win there. That one could potentially be a trap game. O'Connell always seems to scheme us up well. They're always a tough matchup for
I
us.
think the Lions and the Vikings will be a split in the series.
Yeah, I would agree. So 13 will give us head to Detroit. That's going to be a tough one to come out of. I agree with you. I'm going to give Detroit that one.
We're winning against the Bears.
So 12-1. And of course, the Bears. That's an automatic W. So we're going to put that one in there. That's going to put us 13 and well, that'll put us at 12-1, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And then Denver. Again, talk about trap games. Denver's sneaky good as well. Sean Payton's got him playing well there. The young quarterback out there is it Bo Nix. He looks pretty good. Who do you have there in Denver, Bryson?
I got us.
13-1 coming out of Denver, and then we head to Chicago. That dump of a stadium, Soldier Field. So
We're winning that one.
yeah, we're not losing to the Bears, right? So 14-1.
We lost last season. We were playing our backups.
Yeah. So 14-1. Then we have Baltimore at home.
Okay.
So again, we go back to
Passing it to you.
revenge games, right? Jair Alexander, we'll see if he's playing by then. We don't know.
He's coming to Lambeau.
He's going to be back in Lambeau.
I'm going to that game because I want to see how the fans react.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. It's going to be a tough one there. I think it's TBD. I'm assuming that game, if both teams are playing well, I'm assuming that one will probably be flexed to a primetime game. But I like our chances against them. I know Lamar can run, he can throw, but I like our linebacker core. We got to tighten up a little bit on the defensive line. But I'm going to give us a win there against Baltimore,
Yeah.
right? Jair's coming back, and he's going to get another loss in Lambeau there. So that would put us at 15-1, heading to Minnesota to wrap up the season at 15-1. We probably have the division wrapped up by then, so I'm assuming you're not going to see a lot of the starters.
I think the Vikings will be starting their starters, but the Packers.
I agree. So I am going to give that edge to Minnesota and Green Bay. Not biased at all. 15-2 this season, winning the NFC North, top seed in the NFC, and we're going to get that home playoff game after the bye, right after the wild card weekend. So
We're bringing home that Lombardi.
Lombardi's coming back home this year, right? 1265 Lombardi Avenue is going to have a 5th trophy sitting there this year. So there you have it, folks. That is our 2025 schedule prediction. And a little bit on Jordan Love as well, right? So let us know in the comments what you think, what you agree, what you view as more of a trap game for this upcoming season, and which games you look at as a revenge game. I for sure look at Philadelphia as a revenge game. I look at, obviously, Pittsburgh with Rodgers. I still love Rodgers. Don't have a whole lot against Pittsburgh, but people are going to look at it and it's going to feel like a revenge game. So that'll be an interesting one. And then, of course, Jair in Baltimore.
I do not consider that one a revenge.
No, but it's going to be played up that way as well. So I would kind of throw that in the categories of a revenge game. So again, let us know what you think. What's your predictions on the season? Where do you see the Packers going, finishing, and
Do you have another team? Where do you see them going?
yeah, let us know in the
Do you
comments.
have another favorite team?
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and as always, Bryson.
It's Go Pack Go.